Hello and welcome to another web development tutorial brought by yours truly, A1 Website Pro, Maximus McCullough. I was wanting to go over the top 10 biggest mistakes people make with their website, and there's a lot more mistakes that are made, but as far as websites, I would have to say that these ones are some doozies here. So number one is the code structure. These little codes, this is a paragraph tag, this is a heading tag. And if you think about a book or a thesis or something like that, you'll notice that a book, they always has like a table of contents, and then it'll have, a heading. Well, the first thing is a title, of course. So here's our title right here, and then we have the table of contents, and then we have heading tags, okay? And then after the heading tags, we have paragraph tags. A lot of times people will put too much in a heading tag, or something in the heading tag just doesn't make sense according to the title. So we look at the title here, top 10 biggest mistakes people make with their websites. And then I have a heading tag, a subheading, which is an H2. And the way you can check that out is if you're in Google Chrome, maybe put this down here. So if you want to inspect this element, you can see that I'm using an H2 tag because this relates to the title, okay? And then these, of course, down here, these are paragraph tags, and these relate to whatever this subtitle is about. And this paragraph here will relate to this subtitle, and so on and so forth. So you got to take advantage of your code structure. That it's there for a reason. It helps spiders crawl your website to see what it's actually about, okay? So and you got to remember that Google now is crawling these, okay? They're crawling these because if you just highlight this little section right here and search Google, look, top 10 biggest mistakes. Notice that number 2. See, I'm right there in the number 1 position. And if you scroll down, website mistake at number 3, the use of file names. And if you do that, you can see that we're ranking in Google. That's because this article is, this paragraph has to do with the subheading. Google knows that I'm answering these questions, okay? So the next thing is be clear about your subject material, for goodness sake. People that ramble on and on about anything and everything and they don't stick to the subject, it's a very poorly written article. And I like to use this readability.com, make sure that you're doing well. It uses the Flesch reading score, so you can put in a URL here to make sure that that it's readable, calculating the score. And so if we take this article, let me click on this so we get back to notice I have a bunch of anchor links because as you click on the different table of contents, the URL will change. So let me just grab the main URL, copy, and I'm going to go here, I'm going to paste it into this reading score thing and see how well I did. So it's going to analyze my page for me, and then it's going to give me a score. And the higher the score here, the better. That means that it's easier to read. So not bad, 74.7, this gives you the readability formula for a grade, people that are in like 5th grade or above, according to the Flesch grade level reading score, would have an easier time reading this. And since my blog is about technology and stuff, I'm satisfied with that, okay? So the third mistake is the use of file names, okay? So a lot of people, they'll upload their pictures and it'll be like 001 or so on and so forth. But if you notice, most web developers will name their file names whatever their article is. And if we look at my file name here, notice that the URL, if I open it up in a new tab, the end of this URL is the top 10 biggest mistakes people make with their websites for.png. So this communicates something meaningful to search engines, right? So because if I want to take this, let me copy it, and I paste it in here, and maybe I'll go to images here. I should be able to see, and there I am right there, you see. So I'm getting indexed for my keywords, even in the image search, okay? And whenever I upload this video to YouTube, I'll be indexed in the videos as well, Okay? So right now I'm not there because I haven't uploaded the video yet, but I will be there. Okay? Because I'm going to name the file name accordingly. So make sure that you name your media files or your file names, any media file that you upload, according to what it needs to be named, related to your keyword phrase. So here's web mistake number 4, wide paragraphs. Do you ever see them websites that they start clear over here somewhere, and then that sentence will go over here, and then you try to find your way? You don't want that. You got to narrow them paragraphs down so whenever you're reading, you know, you can go over to the next one. A lot of times what I'll do whenever the paragraph is real wide, I'll highlight it so I'll know where I'm leaving off. And, it's just an irritating thing to have to do. Okay, so website mistake number 5, busy websites. You know, I kind of like this because I could just concentrate on this article. I don't have a bunch of pop-ups. You know, a lot of times, you know, when websites get too busy, it's hard concentrating on your subject material, okay? So whenever you have a busy website, you're going to lose your readers, okay? So try to clean it up a bit. Website mistake number 6, too many modules and plugins and CMS systems. Yes, you know, WordPress, Zencart, Joomla, and all them things, they are awesome for, you know, helping you get proper code structure and everything within your website. And then we have these, you know, different sliders, these different things that we can put within our websites. But you know what? The more plugins and modules that you add to your website, it's going to slow it down. You know, whenever they click on a different page or whatnot, you know, and they got to sit there and they got to wait for that page to load, and it's taken forever. You know, you're going to lose your visitors. So try to make your modules or your plugins a part of your theme. Excuse me. Okay, so let's move on to website mistake number 7, bad server choices. Okay, listen, if you're getting 500 to 1,000 visitors a day, I don't care what hosting companies tell you, but if you're getting any more than this, then you have to upgrade either to a VPS or a dedicated server. The problem is I've used in my class the illustration of a water tank. And then if you can visualize a water tank, and then there will be a hose connected to that water tank, the water tank would be like your storage, the server. And that little hose coming out of there would be your bandwidth. And then the water inside would be the content. So you know, the CPU would be like the pump pumping that water. So you need a bigger tank, you need a bigger pump, and a bigger hose to supply more computers. So you have to have a good server to serve your content, especially if you have a lot of pictures, a lot of bloggers, you know, that are putting a lot of pictures and a lot of content. They have a lot of resources or a lot of plugins and modules. You're going to need a bigger server than just a shared server. Shared servers are nice because they're cheap, and that you could, you know, learn the ropes, so to speak, of being a webmaster. But if you're any good at it, you should grow out of that within 6 months to a year, okay? Where you're getting out of that shared server environment and getting up, playing with the big boys there on the VPS and the dedicated servers. Okay, website mistake number 8, no social sharing buttons. Yes, it's true. You go to these websites, they don't have any social sharing. Unless they're living in the Stone Age, they know what Facebook and Twitter are, okay? So get the social sharing buttons on your website so people can gladly share on their Facebook, their Google, their Dig, Twitter, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go on to website mistake number 9, no subscription service. Okay, so people don't want to have to keep coming back to your website every time just to see if you posted something new, okay? You need to give them a way to subscribe, and you know, and make it easy for them. Just put your email in there, click subscribe. Then you confirm it, and anytime you post something new on your website, your fans will be alerted to it. So no subscription service is number 9. And number 10, failure to list your name, address, and phone number. Okay, so if let's say that you get private registration and you're not listing your name and your phone number and so on and so forth. Are you trying to hide? Yeah, that's what Google thinks. When you're not listing your name, your address, your phone number, or contact information, but you're also missing out on being indexed locally for your products and services. It's easier to get your website listed locally than it is worldwide. And maybe you want to know how this happens. This happens by providing your local contact information, your address, your phone number. Remember, all these web pages are indexed by Google. Okay, so whenever you come down and you need to have your address, your phone number, where you're located, so that whenever they're looking up things about your company, you're going to be indexed. So that's important. So that was website mistake number 10, and of course there are many others. And I'll be printing a newsletter to send out to everybody. If you want to keep updated on the next group of mistakes, go ahead and subscribe to my blog here, and I'll make them available. This is Max with A1WebsitePro.com. Thanks for listening.